YouTube, it's Lorenzo. I wanted to talk to you today because today's the day. Today is day 61 of semen retention. And before we hop into my experience, semen retention isn't magic. It's just training self-restraint, self-control. That's all it is. It's just you having the ability to have control over yourself. Simply what it is. The next thing I wanted to mention, my experience can differ from your experience, right? You can experience benefits a lot quicker than I do or a lot later than I do. That doesn't mean that the benefits will not happen. But everybody's journey is different. With that being said, let's get right into the journey. So, right off rip, I noticed there was a few rough patches at first, right? A few mood swings, a few flat lines, right? Because this is the second half, pretty much, of this journey, right? Getting into 60 days. So there was a lot of up and down moments at first, but then things began to even out and started to get normal again for me. So yeah, you may experience flat lines. I don't know if it's going to be earlier for you or later for you, but you may experience flat lines, and you may experience like pent-up aggression. That's another thing, like the aggression on this journey that you feel sometimes is crazy. With that being said, the next thing is going to be energy. You have enough energy to get the things done that you need to get done. If you don't take anything away from this video, one of the things being your energy will change. Because when you're constantly depleting yourself to these adult movies and websites, and when you're constantly giving all of your attention to women and hookup culture and all of that, you're draining your energy spiritually, right? Not only are you exchanging it with the screen or with another person, you're constantly draining that energy. And when you reaccumulate that energy, right? When you repossess it, when it comes back to you, when you're constantly on this journey day in and day out, taking it one day at a time, then you'll see the difference. Some may say, hey man, I operate fine off of relapsing with my woman or relapsing in general on these sites. You got to understand that there's consequences to it. And I dive deep into those consequences on my other videos if you want to check them out. But what you have to understand is you're going to feel more energy. You're going to have the ability to get things done. You won't feel like as fatigued. The next thing I want to talk about, music just hits different. You get chills, you get that feeling, that motivation, right? Things just, the words feel different. Everything feels different about it. So music feels different. In my case, I listen to all Christian rap. I've tried to venture into adding some worldly or secular songs, but every time I do, I ended up removing them because they just don't sit right with me. But that's just me. The next thing, it's easier to train. It's easier to work out, right? And your recovery rate is a lot quicker than you may think. If you're depleted or if you have low energy, right, then it's harder to work out. When you're on this journey, you have energy to transmute. So it makes the workouts 10 times as easier. And you'll notice muscle definition a lot quicker than usual, which is a good thing. I've been working out like crazy. That's one of the ways that I transmute my energy. The next thing is creativity starts to skyrocket. You get ideas, video ideas, in real life ideas. In general, your way of thinking becomes critical and creative. which is really cool, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really cool that you get to expand. There's less brain fog, right? You're not constantly keeping your mind on intimacy and sensuality every and all day, right? You can shift from that because you're not so lust driven, if you know what I'm saying. So less brain fog, more creativity. Next, you tend to stay calmer in conflict. So when someone's trying to amp you up or get on your bad side or try to provoke you, you have more groundedness. You have more calm about your stealth. You have more calm about yourself, right? You're not as easily offended. It may sting, but it won't sting as much as if you were still in a continuous relapsing cycle. And if you are, don't beat yourself up. I encourage you to pick yourself back up and keep going on this journey. And let God be the source of your strength and not your own strength, right? Let Jesus Christ be the source of your strength. Because when you try to do this on your own strength, a lot of the times you may fail. And just ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Leave it in God's hands. Do a prayer. Ask him for strength, right? Each and every day. And put on the armor of God. The next thing I want to talk about. This is the attraction pertaining from men and from women. You will be respected 100% from both genders. For the men, you'll get a lot of head nods or a lot of fist bumps. From the women, you're going to get a lot more smiles. And you might have some come over to you and ask you a few things, right? For me, it hasn't really amped up too crazy, and I'm fine with that. I don't need it to amp up, a crazy amount. Woman came up to me and asked me about the job I was in the other day and what I do. And she was saying, I thought you were with the other company this whole time. I was like, no, I'm with you guys. I'm just waiting to transfer to the other company. So she's cool or whatever. And she was letting me know, like, hey, I feel like I want to work at least 6 months to prove myself, to go over to the other side of the company. I'm like, yeah, time will tell. Just take your time, keep putting in the work, and things will work out for you. And then I was going down the aisle one of the days on my journey, and a woman said, have you always had that tattoo on your arm? The tattoo that I have is a tattoo of Jesus Christ. And then there's 3 crosses there. You guys have probably seen it in videos. And then I have the dove and a Bible verse that says 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. So I said, yeah, I've always had that one. She was pertaining to the Jesus Christ Bible verse. Not Bible verse. The Jesus Christ tattoo on my arm, my right arm. So yeah, she had complimented me on that and said she liked that. I'm like, I appreciate that. What else? You may get, more smiles from women, a little bit longer eye contact, but I'm not here to sell you a pipe dream or give you unintentional or pointless hype. I'm just giving you my raw experience on this. So yeah, women attraction, it's slightly increased, but nothing of a crazy level, right? The next thing. Well, actually, wait, I got one more thing. I was standing on the cold side of my warehouse one morning, and I looked in the corner of my eye, and this woman was like this looking at me. And I looked at her, and she was just constantly, she was a Caucasian woman. So I'm like, okay, that was a little bit strange, but we'll keep going. And then there's this other woman that I dab up every day. She's like, hi. And she's always smiling. That's one thing you're going to catch in this journey. You might get a lot of smiles from women. And from men, you're going to get the head nod and a lot of respect. So yeah, that's the attraction aspect. Next, what I want to talk about. Wet dreams. I've had I think 3 failed ones, right? There was a dream where I was about to relapse in the dream and I stopped myself from relapsing in the dream. There was another dream where I was just sitting on a couch and a sensual thought came to my mind, and then boom, I just released automatically. But when I woke up, there was no essence, there was no seed spilt anywhere. So these are failed wet dreams. And then sometimes you'll have nocturnal emissions where you wake up, you had no dreams, but you realize, your seeds everywhere. Not in a major way, but I guess it's just revitalizing old seed, or like regenerating new seed. I don't know how to word it properly, but it's getting rid of the excess seed that it doesn't need to bring in new seed. You feel me? So you shouldn't feel guilty about this. Now, if you are getting attacked by the succubus or the incubus, if you're a woman watching this, this is a sign that you're making progress on this journey. And the best way that you can operate after being attacked like that, and I know it could be frustrating because you feel like, oh man, I'm back on day 1 of my journey. You're not back on day 1. You're still going strong. Just the body adjusting. And if it's not the body adjusting, if it's these attacks, pray it off in the name of Jesus Christ and rebuke it. And if there's any triggers that you have open, cut them off. Whether it be something you're scrolling through, whether it be a movie, or whether it be constant hookup intimacy with multiple men and women. Because this brings in the spirit of lust, right? This brings in spiritual spouses that try to connect to you. So you just got to be careful in that aspect of things, You don't want to go down the road, because these are gateways to open demonic doorways to lust and sexual demon attacks, But this is progress. If you're being attacked, it's showing that, hey, I'm on this journey now and I'm no longer falling victim to the things I used to fall victim to. Just make sure to pray it off in the name of Jesus Christ and put on the full armor of God. So, with that being said, what else have I noticed? Because we've covered quite a lot. Let's see. Yeah, we've covered quite a lot. Emotions. They're easier to navigate, while still they're amplified. If you're angry, it's kind of amplified because you have excess energy. If you're sad, it's kind of amplified. If you're happy, it's amplified. If you are, let's say, shoot, what other emotions do we have? We've kind of went through the main ones, real deal. Whew. If you're tired, it's kind of amplified, but you're rarely tired on this journey. You just got to get the proper rest and sleep, The next thing, you have a lot of moments of bliss, a lot of moments where you're cheesing for no reason and having a bunch of smiles, and it just comes. The joy of life. It feels like you're high on life. No drug, no substance, no amount of anything is going to make you feel like you feel on this journey at certain times. You feel me? And while those things may be delightful, they're not really beneficial or fulfilling in any way. So you will feel moments of bliss on this journey. Real deal, no fluff. Right? And yeah, I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover this video, this journey, I haven't really noticed anything else, and I will update you guys after 90 days of retention. Another thing I do remember is your relationship with your family members will tend to improve, right? You're more stable, more grounded. You can lead, and people see that in you. Another thing, the intimidation factor. Even when you're not trying to be intimidating, people still, they look at you kind of like they're scared, or they'll say sorry, or they'll even move out of your way. They'll clear the way while you're walking down, right? Best thing for you to say is, oh, no, you're good, brother. It's fine. Thank you. And you move on. I say things that are nice. I don't want to say anything that kind of gets people on edge or makes them feel nervous around me, right? Because essentially, you're standing out from the crowd because not a lot of people are doing this. That doesn't mean that they can't do it. They could get on this same journey that you're on and accomplish the same things that you've accomplished. So yeah, the intimidation factor. People may be scared of you, but once you talk to them, they'll be like, oh, okay, he's not that type of guy who will come and attack you or be mean to you or anything. When I'm in my job at my warehouse, I tend to keep a straight face just like that. And a lot of people ask me if I'm okay, and I say, yeah. My face could say one thing, but my attitude and how I feel can be completely different. And last but not least, this just came to my mind. You start to develop a sense of humor. And it makes people laugh. And you can even find yourself making yourself laugh with the sense of humor that you have. Your way of speech and the way you speak is just so fluent. You'll be saying words that just, you're like, wait, where did that come from? And conversations will go so smoothly that you'll be like, holy moly, what's going on here, bro? You're like, it just happens so smoothly and so quickly, you'll be like, wow. But yeah, that's it. Not anything too major, no fluff, no overindulgence. Overindulgence, what am I saying, bro? No overhype, if we put it in simple terms. That's it. This has been my experience after 60 days in retention. Today's day 61. Keep going strong on your journey, brothers and sisters, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.